Flowers in the rain. I wish on all the stars it'd stay the same. I keep them in my heart. The endless feelings of fragile tiny pieces of our love. We once found it kind of strange how everything can change and fade away. But now I look up at the distant sky and remember all those quiet summer nights. Starlight in your eyes, beautiful and bright. I think of how our worlds must have appeared so close that summer night. If I could try again, we'd fly through the cosmos. Can we sit here for a while? Just for a little bit. This is kind of nice, don't you think?
Yeah. You already know what this is. This, that. Say it. She calling me Reggie, you know that she want me, she finna be riding with sayings. Little shorty about when you fumble the back, so no going back, know that she's staying. You pull up with your boys, I pull up with my tree, tequila, Febreze, how we spraying. They all ducking and dodging, keep blasting and knocking, the spread and leaving you praying. You can call on your wolves, but I'm smoking that pack, they be calling it saying a menace. You be talking a lot, big Gucci and John, next thing you'll be calling your dentist. Get hit with a drop shot, smash with a back, and I'm serving you up like it's tennis. You don't mess with the prince, I'm the best in the world, you can look me up, I'm me and Guinness. Look at the way Sage walk, all of these haters are big on their toe. When it comes time for battle, then they try to block it, they testing my patience, but I'm not a dog, yeah, we leaving them broken and beaten and dead. Aiming my galaxy straight for the head, then I take low shorty, we up in your bed. Bedtime sparring should make it a mess. If you really wanna party with Sage, you better know we play. We don't got time for the people who can't vibe. Every morning we stay constantly training, and then we stand in the gate. We don't want anybody wasting their time. If the little skelly bastard walks in, we're gonna beat him again and letting nobody ruin our strides. If you try to come in 20 commit, you never went to the end of letting anybody damage our pride. Surpassing every limit, you know that we steady breaking. The Sages walking the party, you know we about to make it lit. Battle after battle, leaving all the haters quaking in the Space Force boots. Can't nobody stop the Sages. Flying in with the Dragon Balls, we finna summon Shenron, that's a Dragon Call. Got the Zinni and the babes, yeah we got it all. Everybody better pipe down when the Saints talk. Saints talk.
Yeah, over on the beat. They ain't ready for us. They ain't ready for. They ain't ready for us. They ain't ready for. They ain't ready for us. Hey, saying talk, saying pride. We about to level up on that grind all the time. We don't really give no fucks. Got the boys, we on your block. We about to blow it up. Got the crew, you on the top. We about to turn it up. Hear us listen, talking this till I shoot them in this gun. I be training with my sands. We about to power up. Keep on gaining, never winning. They don't wanna fuck with us. All these haters buzz up. We already never tear them up. Yeah. This shows us a jam, not playing no games. I'm not one of these.
So there we go. Hello, hello. hello Quinn, Rexy, as I Miss J, hello. Ignore what Papa said. So far, yeah. I knew you meant that before, Jay. Don't worry. I knew you meant that before. I got a sword. Yep. Cause that would have been funny if Quinn said I have a sword and I'm not afraid to use it. That would have been hilarious. I have no. Ay vey. Was gonna say I'm waiting for Kane. Kane came ready to stream Terraria. Oh yeah, both of you are streaming Terraria. Jesus. I did not miss the life out of that. Got nervous because of big red pots of half without being the mod. Like, oh. Also, Rexy, I found the Laughing Jack story from that you requested last stream. I just have to find where I was with Ticci Toby because I don't remember where I left off. Is the thing. I don't remember where I left off. Is the thing. I think we did at the therapy scene. I think we stopped at the therapy. Because I remember there being something mentioned about a therapy. That's pretty much where we left off. I have to scroll down so I can find it. Past that already. And Toby, she yells, Toby Johnson fell asleep. Where is it? I think we left off on Toby, she yells. Or at least, oh wait, it's got that. That was just had a bolder clipboard just to try to write it. Guys. Never mind, I found it. Just spooky for me. Hi, Lucy. I know some of these can be scary. Some of these can be scary. Jay, my stutter's not cute. Shut up. so I could actually hold up. I don't know if I can use this person's songs. I have no idea. But there's a horror story. I don't want to say musician, but he does majority of the music. Muyi, I think that's how you say it. Oh, I misspelled it. I misspelled his name. Great. Royalty free, so I think I'm okay to use it then. I think I'm okay to use it. Keyword, I think. Royalty is never free. You have to say, not that kind of royalty. I said royalty free. I said royalty free. It's not even Christmas time. Yes, we all seek to be free from royalty. You're in the presence of royalty, silly. Trying to think, well, I'm not using the Adam's Family theme, no. I'm making an ad, so I'll mute this really quick. Wait, I was called silly. Yes, you were. Because you are silly. We've been new at this point. I might be able to use this, I'm not sure. But this a little bit. We'll see how this goes with if anything, I might just have this on loop. Let me make it cute. Gwen! Never mind, at this point. Because I was gonna say, Quinn has also, like, seen my face too, so. I think that's like Christmas theme. I don't know why I sang that in Russian. Oh, wait. I just remembered. He did, what the fuck is it called? Halloween Blue thing that is? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Does it work? kind of weird. Be right back, guys. Now, use the bathroom. In the meantime, enjoy this, like. Also, Quinn, I saw you said enjoy a Terraria. All right. So now, without further ado, let's get into Ticci Toby. Welcome to the round. So happy to have you. You're just in time for me to start reading the rest of Ticci Toby. So for some of you that might have missed the previous VOD, which was last Tuesday, this attack. I don't know exactly if that's gonna help you sleep, but then again, I listen to Corpse at night, so I can't really blame you. I can't blame you. Okay. You're from Virginia? No, I'm not from Virginia. Oh, Quinn with the italicized this time. Okay. It's slow. There we go. Should be that loud. Okay. Toby, she yelled. Toby jumped and fell sideways out of his chair and backed up into the corner. No, I'm not Mexican. Dr. Oliver stood up, holding her clipboard to her chest, a surprised look in her eyes. Toby met her eyes again. His breath hitched as he twitched. The song would fight laughing. Not Guatemalan. That night, Toby lay in bed. His eyes were dazed as he started to stare. As he stared straight up at his ceiling, he could feel himself begin to doze off when he heard the scattering of footsteps down his hallway. He sat up and looked towards the doorway, his door wide open. There was no light. Everything was lit by a luminescent blue glow of the moon through his window, leaving a cold lighting. He stood up and slowly made his way toward the doorway when suddenly the door, which was previously wide open, slammed in his face. He gasped and fell back. He was out of breath when he hit the ground, and he began breathing heavily, his eyes wide open. He waited a few more seconds before getting back on his feet. He reached out and grasped the cold door handle hallway. I am Colombian, yes. He grasped the cold door handle with his bandaged hand, and it creaked open. He looked out into the dark hallway and tiptoed out of his room. The window at the end of the hallway lit up the darkness with the blue moonlight as he padded his way down. He could hear footsteps rustling around him, and faint giggling followed by the pitter-patter of small feet, which sounded like a child had run in front of him, giggling and running around. The hallway was a lot longer than he remembered. It seemed endless, like the ride home from the hospital. He heard the door creak in front of him. "Mom?" he said in a shaky voice. Suddenly, a door slammed behind him, and he jumped and turned around. Behind him, he heard a long, eerie groan that sounded like croak right in his ear. He turned around as fast as he could, and was suddenly face to face with none other than his dead sister. Her eyes were clouded white, her skin pale. The right side of her jaw dangled there by tissue and muscle, glass protruding from forehead. Oh man. It's making me squeamish, just like wait, actually, I should have done this like before she started, but hold on. What? Oh, come on. For some reason, I can't pin my own messages. I don't know why, but... Well, the TW was there, so... Black blood leaking down her face. Her blonde hair pulled into a ponytail as it always was. And she was wearing her gray t-shirt and athlete shorts, which were dirty and spotted with blood. Her legs were bent in ways that they shouldn't be. She stood there emitting a long croaking noise, only an inch away from Toby's face. Toby yelped and fell back. Ah! He started to crawl backward, away from her, but he was unable to break the eye contact he held with her blank, dead eyes. He dragged himself behind until he backed up into something. He stopped for a second. Everything was dead silent except for his heavy breathing and crying. Yeah, sorry, so He slowly looked up to meet the blank face of a tall, dark figure, the same figure that stood over him now. Behind the tall dark mass were rows of children looking to range from 3 to 10 years old. Their eyes completely black, and dark black blood leaked from their eye sockets. He screamed and stood up as fast as he could, only to be tripped by the dark tendrils that wrapped around his ankles. He fell straight on his stomach and got the wind knocked out of him. He tried to scream, but he couldn't make a sound. He wheezed out before it all went black. Toby woke with a start. He screamed out and sat up as fast as he could, completely short on breath. He wheezed out and held his chest with his bandaged hands. It was just a dream. Just a dream. He lay back down on his bed and rolled over on his side. It felt like against weight had been lifted off his shoulders as he took in deep breaths. He stood up and padded over to his window. He saw nothing. Nothing was out there. No ghosts, no figures, nothing. He heard the rustling and coughing of his father outside the doorway. His door was closed. He walked over and opened it, looking out into the hallway once again. He padded down the hallway and into the kitchen where he found his dad standing and having a smoke in the living room. Toby waited for a second and watched from around the corner before a burning feeling started deep in his chest. Deep boiling anger overtook him. He heard the little imaginary voices in his head. "Do it, do it, do it," they chanted. He turned away and held his arms. He felt like he actually had control over himself, unlike he did for the past few weeks since he got home from the hospital. He actually had complete thoughts for just moments before chanting of the little voices in his head clouded them. "Kill him. He wasn't there. He wasn't there. Kill him. Kill him." They continued on. Toby trembled. No. He wasn't going to do it. What? Was he going crazy? No, he won't kill anyone. He can't. He hated his father, but there's no way he was going to kill him. That was it. The last thought he had before he fell into an ideal state once again. The influence of the voices in his head was too much. He began silently walking up behind his father. He reached over a counter to the knife in the case. He gripped it in his hand. He felt the sensation take over his chest. He let out a snicker. Oh, I don't know if I could do this without sounding, hold on. That's the closest I could do without sounding too scary. He began laughing so hard he had to gasp for breath. His father turned around abruptly before he felt a brute force shove him to the floor. He grunted as the air was knocked out of him. "What?" He looked up at the boy who stood over him, grasping the kitchen knife in his hand. "Toby, what are you doing?" He went to sit up and put his arms out in front of him in self-defense. But before he knew it, Toby was on top of him. He went to He went to grab his neck, but his father reached out and blocked his hands by grabbing onto his wrist. "Stop! Get off me, you little fucker!" He yelled with his other hand. He threw an off-counter punch towards Toby's shoulder, but but he didn't stop. The look in Toby's eyes was not sane. It looked as if a demon had taken control over him. He yelled back and went to stab the knife into his father's chest, but his father blocked him and grabbed onto his wrist once again. He went to shove him back, but Toby kicked his feet out in front of him and landed a hard blow straight to his father's face. His father recoiled and pulled his arms away to cuff his face, but Toby got back up and drove the knife straight into his shoulders. His father let out a loud cry and went to pull the knife out. But before he could, Toby threw his fist straight into his face. He began to pound his fist into his hands, laughing and wheezing. He cracked his neck and grabbed the knife and ripped it out of his father's shoulder. He drove it deep into his dad's chest and repeatedly stabbed into his torso, blood spilling out and getting splattered everywhere. He did not stop until his father's body went still. He threw the knife over to the side and leaned over his body, coughing and panting. He stared at his father's smashed-in face and sat there twitching until a loud scream broke the silence. He looked over to see his mother standing a few feet away, covering her mouth, tears streaming down her face. "Toby!" she screamed. "Why did you do that?" she cried. "Why?" she screamed. Toby stood up and began to back away from his father's bloody corpse. He began to back out of the kitchen. He looked down at the blood-soaked bandages on his hands and looked up at his mother one last time before he turned and ran out of the house. He ran into the garage and slammed his hand against a control panel on the wall and pushed the button to open the garage door. Before he ran out, he noticed his father's hatchets, which had been hanging on the tool rack above a table full of jars filled to the brim with old rusted nails and screws. One of the hatchets was new. It had been bright orange handled and a shiny blade, and the other was old with a wooden handle and an old dull blade. He grabbed both and looked down at the table. He saw a box full of matches, and under the table was a red gasoline tank. Oh my god. If he's about to do what I think he's gonna do, they're gonna die. Oh my god. He held both of the hatchets in one hand and grabbed 2 matches and gasoline before running out of the garage, down the driveway, and up the street. As he approached the street light that he could see out of his own bedroom window, he heard police sirens in the distance. He turned around and the red and blue flashing lights came rushing down the street. Toby stood for a second before he pulled open the cap of the gasoline tank and ran down the street, spilling gasoline all over the street after him. He turned and ran into the trees. He poured the last bit of gasoline out before he reached his pockets and pulled out a match. He struck it against the box and immediately dropped it. In an instant, flames burst around him. The fire caught on the trees and bushes around him, and before he knew it, he was surrounded by fire. The silhouettes of the police cars were visible through the flames as he backed away into the forest around him. He looked around, but his vision was blurred. His heart was pounding, and he closed his eyes for a moment. This was it. This was the end. Toby felt a hand on his shoulder. He opened his eyes and looked over to see a large white hand with long bony fingers resting on his shoulder. He followed the arm that was attached to the hand to a dark, towering figure. It appeared to be wearing a blue... Slender Man. Could be Slender Man. It appeared to be wearing a dark black suit, and his face was completely blank. It towered over Toby's small frame, as if it looked down on him. Tendrils reached out from its back. Before Toby knew it, his vision was blurred, and he heard the sound of a ringing in his ears. Everything went black. That was it. That was the end. That was how Toby Rogers died. A few weeks later, Connie sat in her sister's kitchen. Her sister Lori sat next to her, drinking a cup of coffee. About 3 weeks ago, Connie lost her husband and her son, and a few weeks before, she had lost her daughter to a car crash since she had moved in with her sister. The police were keeping her busy. They had just finished cleaning up the case, and the story had been released 2 weeks ago. The focus of the world seemed to have shifted to completely new stories. Lori switched on the TV, the news broadcast. On the TV, the news reporter began the headline. We have breaking news. Last night, there have been reported a murder of 4 individuals. There are no suspects yet, but the victims were a group of middle school kids who had been out of the woods last night. The kids had been plunged, I don't know how to say that. It's stabbed to death. The investigators have discovered a weapon at the crime scene. It appears to have been an old dull blade hatchet, as you can see here. The picture changed to show snapshots of the weapon, exactly as it was left at the crime scene. Investigators have pulled the name of a suspect, Toby Rogers, a 17-year-old boy who stabbed his father to death a few weeks ago and tried to cover up his escape by setting a fire in the streets of the forest around the neighborhood. Although they believe the young boy had died in the fire, investigators suspect Toby Rogers might still be alive, due to the fact that his body was never found. Holy shit. I got my throat hurts from reading that. Whew. And that was Ticci Toby. Guess I need more water. My water's almost out. Hydrate, Angel. Yeah, I just got a new bottle of water, Matt. Don't worry. I'm hydrating. Let me just pause the music for a second. Cause like the music adds a lot more drama to the story. And I mean that in all honesty. What do you think? Overall, Ticci Toby gave me goosebumps. Like that was the only like real creepypasta that I've actually read. Scary things don't normally do things to me. Scary things don't normally like give me chills and stuff. They don't normally do that. So the fact that the story gave me chills is something. And I take them I took forensics class, and part of it is literally corpses, so creepy. Dios mío. You know something. Corpses ain't fun. Lucy, here's the thing with that though. Sup, big? But Lucy, here's the thing with that though. Because I'm gonna be like, okay, so my big, welcome into the realm. So happy to have you. But what was I gonna say? Oh, because I'm going into criminal investigation, I pretty much have to like get used to the fact that I'm gonna be surrounded by corpses. So it should be interesting. Oh, did Big get a shout out? He did not. Matt, can you shout out Big, please? Captain Big? If you're ready, the Laughing Jack is shorter, but be prepared. Uh-oh. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, there's 2 captains, Lucy. I'm doing good, babe. I'm doing good. How about you? Okay, so, I don't have any other story saved. Okay. Oh. Actually, do you remember your, suggestions for creepypastas? You said one of them was Laughing Jack. What was the other one? Because I know that there was 2 Jacks, so one of them I did not save. Fuck. Jeff the Killer? I'm gonna have fun reading that one. I'm gonna have fun reading that one. Eyeless Jack. Okay, that's what it was. I'm gonna have fun reading Jeff the Killer for that. That's for sure. Jesus Christ. 23 minutes? That's a long ass time. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Eyeless Jack. Oh wait, I just realized that was a song. Yeah, it was Eyeless Jack that I saw, didn't save. We'll do Laughing Jack first, and then we'll move on to what was I gonna say? We'll do Laughing Jack, and then we'll do Jeff the Killer, then Eyeless Jack. There's so many Jacks, though. Why is there so many Jacks? Also, have a good look, Matt. We're doing spooky story. Yep. We're doing spooky stories. Here's the thing though with me with scary stories. I don't mind scary stories, but at night, nah. That's gonna creep me out for a fact. When you do Eyeless Jack, be prepared because there's organs involved. Oh no. Let me guess. Eyeless Jack involves like what's it called? Decapitation. I was about to say disembodiment. Okay. Let me get the music back. That's not it. That's a VOD. The music is gonna like. It's the fact that the music is creepy already, which adds on to the horror aspect of this. Alright. Here we go with Laughing Jack. I almost said Eyeless Jack. Jack for some reason. It was a summer night. My 5-year-old son, James, was playing outside in the backyard of our suburban home. James was always had been a quiet boy. He plays by himself mostly. He never had many friends, but he always has a wild imagination. Everyone don't trust him. Hi, Rexy. I was in the kitchen feeding our dog, Fido, when I heard what sounded like James talking to someone in the backyard. I'm not sure who it was he could have been talking to. Could have finally made a friend. Being a single mom, it's hard for me to always keep an eye on my son. So I decided to go outside to check on him. But when I went into the backyard, I was a bit confused because James was the only person there. Was he talking to himself? I could have sworn I heard another voice. James, it's time to come inside, I called to him. He came inside and sat down at the kitchen table. It was about lunchtime, so I decided to make him a turkey sandwich. James, who are you talking to out there? I asked. James looked up for a moment. I was playing with my new friend, he said, smiling. I poured him some milk and continued to pry, as any good mother would. Does your friend have a name? Why didn't you ask him to have lunch with us? I asked. James stared at me for a moment before replying. His name's Laughing Jack. I was a bit taken aback by what he said. Oh, that's a strange name. What does your friend look like? I asked, a bit confused. He's a clown. He has long hair and a big swirly cone nose. That sounds creepy. He's got long arms and baggy pants with striped socks. And he's always smiling. I realized my son was talking about an imaginary friend. I suppose it's normal for kids his age to have imaginary friends, especially when he has no real kids to play with. It's probably just a phase. The rest of the day went by as per usual, and it was starting to get late, so I put James to bed. I tucked him in, gave him a kiss, and made sure to turn on his nightlight before I closed the door. I was pretty tired myself, so I decided to go to bed not long after. I had a horrible nightmare. Okay, TW with this nightmare in case. It was dark. I was in some kind of rundown amusement park. I was scared, running through an endless field of empty tents, broken down rides, and abandoned game huts. The whole place had a horrible look in it. Everything was black and white. The priceless stuffed animals were all hung by nooses in the game huts, and with all the sick grins stitched on their faces. It felt like the whole park was looking at me, even though there was another living sight. Then suddenly, I began to hear music play. The sound of Pop Goes the Weasel being played on the squeeze box echoed through the park. It was hypnotizing. I followed its tune to the circus tent, almost in a trance, unable to stop my legs from moving forward. It was pitch black, and only light came from a single spotlight shining on the center of the big top. As I walked toward the the music slowed down. I found myself singing along, unable to stop. Okay, let me see if I could do this in my best scary voice. All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey threw, 'twas all in fun. That was really bad. That was really bad. That's the best I could do. The music stopped right before its climax, and suddenly the light shot on. The intensity of the light was practically blinding. All I could see was a small dark silhouette. Do you sound just like the song version? Well, it said ring around pop goes the weasel. So for some reason what popped into my head was do the melody from Ring Around the Rosie. I don't know why. A dark silhouette shuffled towards me. Then another appeared, and another, and another. There were dozens of them, all coming toward me. I couldn't move. My legs were frozen. All I could do was watch as the haunting figures drew nearer. As they got closer, I could see they were children. As I looked at each one, I noticed they were horribly disfigured and mutilated. Some had cuts all over their body. Others were severely burnt, and others were missing limbs, even eyes. The children enveloped me, crawling on my flesh, dragging me to the ground and tearing inside me. As the children tore me apart, and I faded away, all I could hear was laughter, horrible, awful, evil laughter. Yeah, hold on, Rexy, wait, let me see that. Where is it? There it is. Because I saw that out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, I need to pin that. All right, there we go. Thanks, Rexy. All right. Yeah, for some reason, it doesn't let me pin mine, but it lets me pin someone else's. I don't know why. I don't know why that happens. Okay. I stopped that laughter. And right as I get into the story, my nephew wants something. Those are I don't know, it's Wolfie Audios, who is Hope's son, my nephew. Okay, the music box and... Okay, hold on. Really quick before I continue, does anyone else get chills when it comes to music boxes? Cause I do. Every time I hear like a music box and it's something horror related, I always get like chills. Cause it creeps me out a lot. And like, you can ask King Talamar this. You can ask King Talamar this, but when it comes to horror, the one thing you can always scare me with is music. Music's the one thing that you can always scare me with. Continuing. I just have Discord open in case my nephew needs me. And don't know if he's gonna join the stream or not, because that's like late for him. I woke up the next morning in a cold sweat. After taking a few deep breaths, I looked over and saw a few of James's action figures were positioned facing me on my nightstand. I sighed. Toby had woken up early and put those here. And put these here. I don't know why I said those here. I gathered up the toys and made my way to James's room. However, when I opened the door, James was sound asleep. I just shrugged and placed the toys back in his toy box and headed out into the living room. A little while later, James woke up and I made him his breakfast. He was quiet and sorry. Okay, there we go. He was quiet and seemed a little groggy. Perhaps he didn't sleep well either. I decided to ask him about his toys. James, honey, did you put the toys in Mommy's room this morning? His eyes shot up at me for a moment, then quickly glanced back down at his cereal.
Laughing Jack did.
I rolled my eyes and responded, well, you tell Laughing Jack to keep the toys in your room. James nodded and finished his breakfast. Then decided to go play out in the backyard. Right, have a good lurk, Jay. I went to relax in the living room, and I must have dozed off because I woke up a couple hours later. Shit! I need to check on James. I was a bit worried it had been over 2 hours and I haven't checked on him. I went and stepped out into the backyard, but James wasn't there anymore. I was getting nervous, so I called out to him. James? James, where are you? Just then, I heard a giggle come from the front yard. I rushed through the gate around the front of the house. James was sitting on the sidewalk. I breathed a sigh of relief and walked over to him. James, how many times have I told you to stay in the backyard? James, what are you eating? Oh boy. James looked up at me, then reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of hard candies in all colors. This made me nervous. James, who gave you that candy? James just stared at me, not speaking. James, please tell Mommy, where did you get that candy? James hung his head down and said, Laughing Jack gave it to me. My heart sank. I kneeled down and looked him in the eyes. James, I have had enough of this damn Laughing Jack thing. He is not real. Now this is a very serious situation and I need to know who gave you the candy. I could see my son's eyes tear up. But Mama, Laughing Jack did give me the candy. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. James has never lied to me. But what he is telling me is impossible. I make him spit out the candy and I threw the rest away. James appears to be fine. Maybe I'm just overreacting. After all, he could have gotten it from Tom and Linda from next door, or Mr. Walker down the street. Either way, I'm going to have to keep a closer eye on James. That night, I put James to bed as usual and decided to go to bed early myself. Suddenly, I was awoken by a loud bang from the kitchen. I sprung up out of bed and hurried down the stairs. When I got to the kitchen, I was horrified. Everything on the counters had been thrown on the floor, and our dog Fido hung dead in the light fixture. No! He's just gonna flip out soon. I just did, Rexy. I see what you mean. His stomach was cut open and stuffed with candy. The same type that James was eating earlier that day. My shock was quickly broken by a sharp scream coming from James's room, followed by louder crashes. I quickly grabbed a knife from the drawer and moved up the stairs with the speed that only a mother whose child is in danger could have. I burst through the door and flicked on the lights. Everything in the room was kicked over and tossed on the floor. My poor son was in bed crying and shaking with fear. A pool of urine stained the sheets. I scooped my child up and ran out of the house and went next door to Tom and Linda. Luckily, they were still awake. They let me use their phone and I called the police. It didn't take them long to arrive and I explained what happened. They looked at me as if I was crazy. They searched the house, but all they found was a dead dog and 2 trashed rooms. The officer told me that someone had probably gotten into the house and done this right before making a quick escape when they heard me coming up the stairs. I knew it wasn't true. All the doors were locked and none of the windows were open. Whatever was in my house didn't come from outside. The next day, James stayed inside. I didn't want him to leave my sight. I went into the garage and found his old baby monitor set it up in his room. If anything comes into it tonight, I was going to be able to hear it. I went into the kitchen and grabbed the largest knife from the drawer and put it on my nightstand. Imaginary friend or not, I'm not letting anything hurt my little boy. Soon enough, night came. I put James to bed. He was afraid, but I promised him then that I wasn't gonna let anything happen to him. I tucked him in, gave him a kiss, and turned on the nightlight before closing the door. I whispered to him, "Good night, James. I love you." I stayed up for as long as I could, but a few hours, I found myself drifting off. My baby would be safe for the night and I needed to sleep. Just as I lay my head on the pillow, I heard a soft noise come from the baby monitor. I had put it on my nightstand. At first, it sounded like interference, like the kind of radio would make. Then it turned into a soft moan. Was James asleep? Then I heard it. The laugh from my nightmare. That horrible laugh. I sprung up from the bed and grabbed the knife from under my pillow and rushed into James's room and creaked the door open. I tried the light switch, but it wouldn't come on. I took a step in. I could feel a warm, thick liquid on my feet. Suddenly, James's nightlight came on. And I could see the absolute horror that laid in front of me. James's body was nailed up on the wall, the nails piercing through his hands and feet. His chest was wide open and his organs hung down on the floor. His eyes and tongue were removed, all but the most of his teeth. I was disgusted. I could hardly believe that this was my baby boy. Then I heard it again. The soft, desperate moan. James was still alive. My baby, my poor baby, is in so much pain, barely clinging for his life. I ran across the room and vomited on the floor, but my sickness was interrupted by a horrible cackle coming from behind me. I sprung around while still wiping bile from my mouth. Then out the shadows emerged the fiend responsible for all of this horror. Laughing Jack. His ghost white skin, matted black hair hung down his shoulders. He had piercing white eyes surrounded by dark black rings. His twisted smile revealed a row of sharp, jarred teeth, and his skin didn't look like skin at all. It almost looked like rubber or plastic. He wore a patchy black and white clown outfit with striped sleeves and socks. His body itself was grotesque. His long arms hanging down past his waist, and the way he poisoned himself to look almost boneless, like a rag doll. He let out a sickening laugh as if to let me know he was pleased with my reaction to his quote-unquote work. He turned then around slowly in front of James and began laughing even more at the horrific sight he has laid out. That was enough to shake me from my terror. I snapped, "Get away from him, you bastard!" I rushed at the monster, raising the knife above my head and stabbed him down at it. But as soon as the knife touched him, he disappeared into a cloud of black smoke. The knife passed right through the pierced James' still beating heart, splashing the warm blood on my face. No, what have I done? My baby! I killed my baby! I immediately fell to my knees and I could hear sirens in the distance growing louder. My boy, my sweet baby boy. I promised Mommy would protect you, but I failed. I'm sorry, James, I'm so sorry. Police arrived soon to find me in front of my son, still wielding the knife covered my baby's blood. The trial was short. Insanity. I was placed in Ferrophilus' house for the criminally ill, where I have been for the past 2 months. It's not so bad here. The only reason I'm awake now is because someone is playing Pop Goes the Weasel outside my window. I'll go talk to the orderlies about it in the morning. Holy shit. Okay, that one. Again, scary stuff doesn't normally do things to me. Jesus. Whew. I did not expect like a full on. That was wait, hold on. Pause the music for a hot second. That was straight up corpse level scary story right there. The infamous one. I have heard of Jack the Killer. I mean Jeff the Killer before. Why is there so many J's? There's so many J's, it's confusing. Hey Ronnie. Didn't really miss much. Oh my god. Just want to move on to Jeff the Killer. Oh my god. He's very evil and very bloody. Yep. Actually, I think I remember learning about Jeff the Killer at one point in forensics. Or if not, then I was probably like on my spare time. When I was researching like serial killers, like just because. I don't know what's wrong with me with serial killers. I don't know why. I could watch a whole full-on documentary about a serial killer and then feel completely fine a few hours later. And it's like, why? Fire blood, jeez. I didn't know that, Rexy. I didn't know what his real name is. Ad. I didn't know what his real name is. Jeff. Oh my god. Jeff the Killer might be the. Rexy, how do you know this information? How do you know that? I swear to God, out of all of us, Rexy is the one person that knows the most excuse me. Rexy knows the most about like horror out of all of us. You'd love Johnny then. Don't question me. YouTube, don't question me. Also, my user horror movie nerd. Oh, that's you? I was wondering who that was. I consider myself the second person who knows about horror. I know a thing or two about it, but what was I about to say? Excuse me. Oh, I've seen a lot of horror movies. Like I saw The Hatchling, Knock at the Cabin, Speak No Evil, which is more thriller than horror. But I've seen a lot of horror movies is what I'm getting. Oop, cover blown. Excuse me. Got the hiccups. I'm gonna say go my stories. We're gonna more intense. Toby level 2, Jack level 3, Jeff level 4. When you say Jag, which one are you referring to? Eyeless Jack number 5. Okay. Wait, then who's won? Jesus. The hiccups. I feel like we should take a short break from urban legend. I mean, creepypastas. So, because getting a little too freaky. And Jay is somewhere. Jay is somewhere. Where is he exactly? I have no idea. Yeah, I have the hiccups, I swear. Let me see what urban legends I can. I mean, the urban legends won't exactly be that say so either. Sally's Smile Dog? Do I want to know what that is? Excuse me. Do I want to know what that is? Because I feel like I don't want to know what that is. I'm looking up urban legends that I can read. Ghost of Mr. Chew. That's new. I haven't heard of that one. I haven't heard of that one, actually. Hold on. Oh, there's a podcast of it. Oh, it's true crime. Bet. I see anything true crime, I'm like, hell yeah. Oh, this is gonna be a lot for me to read. Actually, I'm just kidding. It's not that much. Like, it's not that much to read. It's not that much to read, but it's like a little sneak preview of it. Excuse me. See if I can find the actual story. Can I? I know Sally, Smile Dog, Jeff, Toby, Laughing Jack, Eyeless Jack, Nina Hopkins, and one of my faves, Jason. When the toy maker. Oh, Jason the toy maker. Never mind. I was about to say I saw the Jason, and I thought you meant Jason from Friday the 13th. Actually, I'll do urban legends that I know. Oh no, that's creepy. I just saw a clown. Hold on. Homie the clown. Okay, it's no. Rexy just saying nope. Oh, the Black Angel. That one's actually one I haven't. Whoops. Then Black. That's not how you spell angel. Black Angel. Oh, Black Angels or Fallen Angels? Okay. Wow. Yep, I found a good one. Blue. No barking. I would say stay away, probably Smile Dog, Rainbow Factory, and Squidward Suicide. You know for a fact I'm not doing. You know for a fact I'm not doing that. Okay, I found more to the Black Angel. So get ready for this. The legend of the Black Angel of Oakland Cemetery. The strange Black Angel in Iowa City, Oakland Cemetery has been connected to the supernatural. It is part of the local lore in Iowa City and has been mentioned in books and websites for many years. As mentioned, though, its history has been confused with another black angel, which is located in Council Bluffs. The following is true story and mystery of Oakland Cemetery's Black Angel. This should be good. Yeah. I'm not ruining SpongeBob for anyone, so don't worry. The Black Angel of Oakland Cemetery is a 8.5-foot tall burial monument for the Feldovert family. Also, I'm not doing music for this because I don't want to scare people too much with this. Erected in the cemetery in 1912. Since that time, it has been a source of many stories and legends in Iowa City, most connected to the mysterious change in color that the angel took, turning from gold bronze to eerie black. The statue was erected by Teresa Donzo of the Feldwort, a physician who had immigrated to America from Stamolbomia, I think that's how you say it. Teresa and her son, Eddie Dozel, came to Iowa City where she worked as a midwife. They lived in Iowa City until 1891, where Eddie died when Eddie died of meningitis at the age of 18. He was buried in Oakland Cemetery, and Teresa had a tree stump monument erected from over his grave. It could still be seen today. After Eddie's death, Teresa moves to Eugene, Oregon, where she married Nicholas Feldovert, who died tragically just a few years later in 1911. In the wake of this loss, Teresa returned to Iowa City and she hired Mario Colville, a bohemian artist in Chicago, to design the angel that would hover over the body of her son and the ashes of her husband. The angel arrived on a railroad flat car in Iowa City on November 21st, 1921. There have been many stories spread about even the most mundane aspect of the angel's existence, starting with the day that it was erected in the cemetery. According to local history provided by people who lived in the city at the time, the angel was installed at the cemetery at the time of its arrival in 1912. Other sources claim it was actually stored in a barn for 6 years, and it was not erected until after a court case that Teresa brought against the artist Mario Colville. The story states that she refused to pay $5,000 of the cost of the statue because it did not meet her specification to include a replica of her son's tree stump monument in the angel monument. She eventually lost the case. Whatever the truth is to the story, at some point the installation of the angel, Eddie's monument, was moved from its original location to its present site alongside the angel. His remains, along with the ashes of Nicholas Feldovert, were placed in respiratory under the angel's base. Teresa died of cancer on November 18th, 1924. Her ashes were also placed beneath the angel, and soon after, strange stories begin. Within a few years of its installation of Oakland Cemetery, the glorious bronze angel strangely began to turn black. Most have explained this to be a natural oxidation of metal, but not surprisingly, others' explanations have surfaced, blaming evil acts, freak storms, infidelity, and even murder. One legend has it that Teresa Veldevert was a mysterious woman, and that her evil caused the angel to turn black. The strange shadowing to serve as a constant reminder of the sins of her family, and as a warning for people to stay away from her grave. Some claim that Teresa's wicked ways were evident in the design of the angel. Unlike most graveyard angels, which are usually positioned with their wings and with their head and wings uplifted as a symbol of aiding and ascending to heaven, the Voldemort angel is looking down to the ground, and her wings not uplifted. And strangely, there is no death date on the monument of Teresa Veldevert. Why do I keep saying it like that? One legend created and another variety of stories sprung up, stating that any girl who was kissed at the angel's feet in the moonlight would die with 6 months. Others say that touching the angel on Halloween night would lead to death in 7 years. Worse yet, kissing the angel itself will cause a person's heart to stop beating. Others claim the angel turned black after a freak thunderstorm on the night of Teresa's funeral. According to this, the angel was struck by lightning, and this was caused it to turn black. There are also stories that blame the black color of the angel of infidelity. In this version of the angel story, Teresa allegedly vowed over her husband's grave that she would remain faithful to him until the day that she died, swearing that his death in angel would turn black if she ever cheated on his memory. The color of the angel these stories claim answer a question as to whether or not Teresa remained faithful. Perhaps the harshest explanation for the angel's color claims that Teresa's son did not die from an illness, as the record stated, but rather she murdered him. These stories claim that she fled to Oregon soon after, and only her guilt brought her back to Iowa City. In shame, she moved his body to rest beneath the wings of the angel, and soon after, it began to turn black. It began to turn back as a reminder of her shame. Also, Rainbow Factory is based off Rainbow Dash from My Little Pony. Do I want to know how? Do I want to know how, Rexy? And while such stories may bear little resemblance to the truth, they do remain an essential part of the lore and legend of Iowa. For generations, local residents and University of Iowa students have come to Oakland Cemetery, often under the light of the moon, to ponder the mysterious angel. She is regarded as one of the region's most haunted sites. Like, based on the old stories, curses, and enigmas attached to her past and present. And that is story of the Black Angel. That story is interesting. Well, that's 2 votes for yes. I'm scared to check it out though because okay, hold on. I'm gonna just do it. But I'll be right back. But first, a quick break. Okay. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. See what I missed while I was gone. It's good, but a little sus. Wait, I like what? Rainbow Factory? I feel like okay. Here goes. Okay, that's not how you spell rainbow. That's kind of cool art of Rainbow Dash, though. I'm not gonna lie. Jeez, that's a long ass. I damn. Okay, I don't know if Rainbow Factory is safe for Twitch or not. I'm gonna be scarred by this, I just know it. Oh, that's the same thing. Okay. That's the same thing. Never mind. Alright. 100 head balls of Rainbow Factory. Well, the actual video was 9 minutes, so. The lyrics to the infamous Rainbow Factory song inspired by the creepypasta Rainbow Dash, the main antagonist. So they first My Little Pony grim dark story. Damn. Well, I saw a Wattpad. I was like, I don't read Wattpad. Calm down. Oh, this is long. I don't know if I should play it or not because it's like copyrighted, so. Thank you. And damn. Okay, good to know. Well, we got that set for Rainbow Factory. I was about to say Rainbow Mark for some reason. The little girl on Knock Knock Road? What the hell? I knew it. The second I looked up Urban Legends, I was saying in my head, watch there be something about Area 51. I see something about Area 51. Do you want to read a Smile Dog? I don't know. Cause wait, let me skim through Smile Dog first. That's nice, a smile. Let me play something else though, so we can like, even though like this music will be like the polar opposite. Oh, but it's a better computer virus. Okay. Yo, right. I read that, and I thought it said it has the computer virus. I was about to say. We'll do this one.
I wanna stay inside.
We'll let that play. Kind of scared to check it out. Web smiley dogs. Go back up. Why is it called Smiley Dog though? Oh, I found the story. That fast. Oh no, that's creepy. I scrolled down to read the story, and the second I looked down, I just saw like a picture of a dog like jump scare me, and I was like, oh my god. Oh, Smiley Dog. Okay. Oh, because I got Smile Dog, and I guess it means the same thing. Okay. Huskies like smile. I didn't know that actually. I didn't know that Huskies like like smiling. Okay, we're gonna try some smile dog. We're gonna try to read smile dog. I'll just scroll down to where it is. Okay, there it is. There are some parts that I'm gonna have to censor because I don't know if the emails in here are real or not, and if they are real, I don't want to say it out loud. So, okay, we'll let this play. Perfect timing of that. Okay. I'm already nervous. Okay, this is Smile Dog. I first met in person with Mary E. in the summer of 2007. I had arranged with her husband of 15 years, Terrence, to see her for an interview. Thanks, Rexy. Mary had intentionally agreed, said I was not a newsman, but rather an amateur writer gathering information for a few early college assignments, and if all went according to plan, some pieces to fiction. We scheduled the interview for a particular weekend when I was in Chicago on unrelated business. But at the last moment, Mary changed her mind and locked herself in the couple's bedroom, refusing to meet with me. For half an hour, I sat with Terrence as we camped outside the bedroom door. I was listening and taking notes while he attempted to frivolously calm his wife. The things Mary said made little sense, but fit with the pattern I was expecting. Though I could not see her, I could tell from her voice that she was crying, and more often than not her obligation to speak. But centered around the incoherent diapute of her dreams, her nightmares. Terrence apologized profusely when we ceased the exercise, and I did my best to take the stride and recall and that I wasn't a reporter in search of a story, but merely a curious young man in search of information. Besides, I thought at the time I could perhaps find another, similar case if I put my mind and resources to it. Is it dead? We're reading a Smile Dog J. Mary E. was the side soap of a small Chicago-based bulletin board system in 1992, where she first encountered Smile.jpg, and her life changed forever. She and Terrence have been married for only 5 months. Mary was one of the estimated 400 people who saw the image when it was posted as a hyperlink on the BBS. Though she is only one who has spoken openly about the experience. The rest hasn't had. Okay, minute time. Sorry about that, chat. The rest remain anonymous, or are perhaps dead. In 2005, when I was only in 10th grade, Smile.jpg was first brought to my attention by regarding, I think that's how you say it, interest in web-based phenomena. Mary was the most often cited victim of what is sometimes referred to as Smile Dog, not Smiley Dog. The being Smile.jpg JPG is repeated to display, which caught my interest. Other than the obvious bugabary elements of the cyber legend, and my project that word towards such things was the sheer lack of information, usually to the point that people don't believe it even exists, other than as a rumor or hoax. It is unique because the entire phenomenon centers on a picture file. That file is nowhere to be found on the internet. So many photo manipulations. Many photo manipulated simulacra litter the web, showing up the most frequent used sites such as Imagine Board, 4chan, that I cannot say, peculiarly the I can't say focus paranormal subword. It is suspected that these are fake because it's not of the effect of the true smile is believed to have. Namely, sudden onset temporal lobolepsy and acute anxiety. This purported reaction in the viewer is one of the reasons the phantom-like smile is regarded with such disdain, since it's patently absurd. Though depending on whom you ask, reluctance to acknowledge smile's existence might be just as much as it out of disbelief. Neither Smile nor Smile Dog is mentioned anywhere on Wikipedia, though the website features articles and such. Perhaps more scandalous shock sites such as Blank or that other site I cannot say. Any attempt to create a page pertaining Smile is summarily deleted by any of the encyclopedia's many admins. Encounters with Smile are the stuff of the internet legend. Mary E's story is not unique. There are unverified rumors of Smile showing up in the early days of Ucent, things like I said, and it's even persistent tale that in 2002 a hacker flooded the forums of horror and satire websites, something awful, with a deluge of smile dog pictures, rendering almost half of the forum users at the time of this elliptic. It is also said that in the mid-90s that Smile circulated a usage and as an attachment of a chain with the subject line, "Smile, God loves you." Yet, despite the huge exposure these stunts would generate, there are few people who admit to have experienced any of them, and there's no trace of the file or any link that has ever been discovered. Those who claim to have seen Smile often weakly joke that they were far too busy to say to copy of the picture to the hard drive. Although all alleged victims often offer the same description. That's an ad. Offer the same description of the photo of the dog. Of the photo. A dog-like creature, usually described as an appearing Siberian, similar to a Siberian husky, illuminated by the flashing light of the cameras, set in a dim room. The only background detail that is visible being a human hand extending from the darkness near the left side of the frame. The hand is empty, but is usually described as beckoning. Of course, most attention is given to the dog, or dog creature, as some victims of, as some met in. Hold on, so Blue. My dog is barking at the. Oh, there he is. Hey. No. No barking. There's nobody there. My dog misheard someone at the door. Silly. No. Uh-oh. Rexy, when you say that, it gets me nervous. Okay, where's I at? Or a dog creature, as some victims are more certain than others as to what claims they have seen. The muzzle of the beast is reputedly the spirit in a wide grin, revealing 2 rows of very white, very straight, very sharp, very human-like teeth. What's that, guys? I need my remote charger. Okay, there we go. This is, of course, not a description given immediately after the picture, after reviewing the picture, but rather a recollection of victims who claim to have seen this picture endlessly, repeated in their mind's eye during the time they are, in reality, having epileptical fits. The voice you do with your dog is so adorable. Well, I always pull off like a high-pitched voice with my dog. These fits are reported to continue interminable, often while the victims sleep, resulting in very vivid and disturbing nightmares. These may be treated with medication, though in some cases it is more effective than others. Mary E., I assumed, was not on effective medication. That was why, after my visit to her apartment in 2007, I sent out feelers to to several folklore and urban legend oriented news groups, websites, and mailing lists, hoping to find the name of a supposed victim of Smile, who felt more interested in talking about their experience. For a time, nothing happened at length. I forgot completely about my pursuits. Since I had begun freshman year of college and was quite busy, Mary contacted me via email. However, near the beginning of March of 2008, I'm not gonna read that email because privacy. Privacies. I'm not gonna read that email. Terrence contacted me later that month with the news that his wife had killed herself while cleaning up the various things she left behind, closing emails and the like. He happened upon the message above. He was a man of shambles. He wept as he told me to listen to his wife's advice. He had the diskette, he revealed, and burnt it until it was nothing but a stinking pile of blackened plastic. The part that most disturbed him, however, was how the diskette had hissed as it had melted, like some sort of animal, he said. I will admit, I was a little uncertain about how to respond to this. At first, I thought perhaps it was a joke with the couple blatantly playing with the situation in order to get a rise to me. A quick check of several Chicago newspapers outlined as an ad. A quick check of several Chicago newspaper online obscenities, however, proved that Mary E. was indeed dead. There was, of course, no mention of her suicide in the article. I decided that for a time, at least, I would not further pursue the subject of Smile, especially since I had finals coming up at the end of May. But the world has odds of testing us. Almost a full year after I returned from my atrocious interview with Mary E., I received another email. This one I'm not gonna read either. The final line chilled me down to the spine. According to my email client, there was one file attachment, naturally Smile. I considered downloading it for some time. It was most likely fake. I imagined, and even if I weren't, I wasn't wholly convinced. Phone tilted. I wasn't wholly convinced. I wasn't wholly convinced. I wasn't wholly convinced of Smile's particular powers. Mary E.'s account had shaken me, yes, but she was probably mentally unbalanced anyway. After all, how could a simple image do what Smile was said to accomplish? What sort of creature was it that could break one's mind with the power of the eye? And if such things were patently absurd, then why did the legend exist at all? If I downloaded the image, if I looked at it, and if Mary turned out to be correct, if Smile Dog came to my dreams demanding I spread word, what would I do? What would I live my life as Mary had, fighting against the urge to give in till I died? Or would I simply spread the word, eager to put to rest? And if I chose the later route, how could I ever do it? Whom would I burden in turn? If I went through my earlier intention to write an article about Smile, I decided I could attach it as evidence. Anyone who read the article, anyone who took interest, anyone would be affected. And even assuming Smile attached to the email was genuine, would I be courageous enough to save myself in that manner? Could I spread the word? Yes. Yes, I could. And that is Smile Dog. That is Smile Dog. And probably where I'm gonna stop it for tonight. I think I've had enough scary stories for one night. See who I can rate over to. Hi sis. I think that's enough for scary stories for one day. Dios mío. There are happy pastas, the opposite of creepy pastas where everything is positive. I can imagine that there's happy pastas. But whew, that was a lot. And yes, sis, as you can see by the pinned title, there was a lot of mention of blood and gore, so be glad that you missed the stories. Whew. Let me get Smile Dog off my feed. Cause that gave me goosebumps. See if I can find someone to raid. Actually, let's raid Quinn. Well, why not? Let's raid Quinn. Sorry, Matt. Matt was texting me about collab, so that's the wrong thing. Matt texted me about a collab. All right. I know, Rexy. I'm gonna rate Quinn. I know. Let's see. Raid. But yeah, name is Gwen. And it's a raid I cannot see. Okay. It's gonna take a while. Thanks you guys for sticking in. I know it's a bit of a longer stream than usual. But no more Angel. Alright. I said no more for a while, okay? Cute, Jay. Alright. There's our raid message. The Dark Angels have ascended. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday. for another stream. It'll be something chill, Jay. Don't worry. No more scary stuff. No more scary, okay? Scary stuff is over. We'll most likely do something chill. We'll see what we do when it comes. Tuesday, Suma. Okay. I can't actually see the timer, so I... Okay. See you guys.